All right, the big news today, obviously, is the big scandal. I don't know, I'm not stealing your thunder here, Jay, am I?
No.
The big scandal with Tim Murphy.
Oh, man.
Tim Murphy has now come out. It's been revealed via the Post-Gazette, the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, that Tim Murphy has a mistress and told his mistress to have an abortion. Tim Murphy, for those of you who do not know, is one of the members in Congress, one of the Republican members who is a big opponent of abortion and a big proponent of abortion restricting laws. So it's very hypocritical that Tim Murphy has come out against abortion.
Very hypocritical.
In his public life, but in his private life, he's given the elbow to his girlfriend and saying, you know, let's trash this kid. So...
Did he offer to pay?
I don't know. And...
I mean, that would be the right thing to do, right?
It's one thing. It's one thing for him to have a public stance and then have this mistress, which is awful to begin with. But it's actually worse than that. Jay, we're here with Jaye Cooper. This is the River's Edge. I'm Brian Crawford.
What's up?
Jay, do you know what Tim Murphy's background is in?
I don't.
You don't. He is a medical doctor. So he's got a doctorate. Yes, Tim Murphy has a background in health. And a focus in mental health specifically, and he's now bringing his mistress through all of this.
So health and mental health. So
Yes.
mentally, he didn't see this coming.
I guess not.
He didn't think this would happen.
He didn't think this would happen, no.
You don't strap it up?
What's that?
You don't strap it up? Come on, you got a mistress and stuff. She's probably, he should have known she was fertile. Like, who does that?
Yeah. So that's the big story. I want to hold off on that because we're going to wait until Howie gets in because I want to get him in on
Oh,
the
you know
conversation.
Howie's going to put in his 2 cents on that.
But that is definitely the story of the hour. Today is the Millville Wine Fest. As you know, the River's Edge is a sponsor of that wine fest. So you can check that out today, get some wine, and then head over to the James Drakes Gastropub and Speakeasy for James Drakes and the Chris Taylor Trio. And today's show has been a bit of a crazy start to it. Nothing's working in the studio. I'm running in here at the last minute from my awful job. And this is the question that I really want to pose to all of you people who are listening right now. I need somebody who's listening via the Facebook page because we can't access riversedgepgh.com. So no, we're not there. We're broadcasting from Mr. Smalls on Facebook. So even though we're a radio station, we can't actually access the radio. But whatever. So...
Yeah.
I come in running in from work, and they decided to put this new system, the Higher Minds, this new system into place, and it's supposed to solve all of our problems, no more overtime, yet here I am working overtime every day. And I want to bring in somebody who works in, if you are listening to the show, if you work in the labor department or some sort of a health department, please, you can tweet me at RiverTalkPGH or message us in the Facebook Live feed. Is it okay to keep a place of business open when you have no restrooms?
Ew.
No restrooms. That's right. I'm at work in the middle of the night, and because I work overnight, and all of a sudden over the PA system you hear this stupid noise. Attention employees, the public restrooms will be closed at midnight. No water running after midnight. You will have to use the porta-johns outside. Which there never have been porta-johns outside. They literally bust porta-johns in so they could shut the water off in this giant complex where you have at least 100 employees working. So now you've got 100 employees using a few porta-johns placed outside. What if it was raining, for one?
I have a fear of porta-johns. I don't know what it is. I just don't like it. I don't know how.
And there's nothing else open that
they just stack
time
up
of
on
night.
top of each other, and
They can be dicey.
Yeah,
They can be
So
real dicey.
gross.
I kind of live the
I don't
life.
like- I don't
You
like
live that
real
life?
dicey.
It's construction.
You about that life?
What's in construction? Yeah, no, the
He's
choice.
about that porta-john life.
If you can hold
He's
on,
got one in
hold
his
on.
backyard.
So
Or
we've
if
got
you're close.
Chris, Jonathan, Tom, and James all here in studio, so you're going to hear some of their voices as well as we discuss the situation. Do any of you guys, I'll pose the question to you, do any of you guys have a job in the health department or any kind of labor department? Is this legal?
My initial reaction was that it wasn't legal. Chris and I both come from the restaurant industry, so it's definitely
not
close
legal.
to legal there. It's not close to legal there. The Porta-John thing seems like a gray area of like a Band-Aid fix to me. I don't know. I mean, I guess that was their way of working around it.
Were they shutting it down for repair purposes?
I guess they want to work on the building. I don't know. I just
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. 'Cause, you know, I mean, the only thing they could do is bring those in, is the way I look at it. But if you have food, did they bring
they've got
hand washing
porta-johns.
stations or anything?
Oh, they have hand sanitizer in the
Oh,
porta-johns.
that doesn't
yeah.
kill me. The hand washing, washing.
Yeah, sanitizer can only do so much.
Yeah.
You know?
99.9%. What's the other 0.1%?
Yeah, what's
That other 0.%. That's where you get into trouble.
That point
So-
one, that's the dirtiest. Oh God. Ugh.
Yeah,
Those
they
are the ones
definitely
that
can
can't
a
be
little
fought off with the sanitizer, and those are the ones you got to worry about.
Yeah, it was just a rough night. It's an awful place to work, and I cannot wait until I can quit.
So you go from graveyard to this?
I go from graveyard to
Man.
this.
He's a beast.
I thought I was
rough.
tired.
Yeah, I was complaining about being
I
wrong.
for- yeah, I'm sorry about, sorry about the bags under my eyes.
I got no reason to complain.
Yeah, I'm
No
being
reason.
tired.
Yeah, and then I have to go to the Wine Fest this evening, and then I'm gonna try to stop by James Street as well to see you guys. So
Great.
it's gonna be a busy evening. It's my night off, so I'll just stay awake for 30 plus hours.
Well, we appreciate it.
He can do it.
We appreciate you having us here too.
Yeah, this is great. So I do want to kind of roll right into this show, which is tonight at James Street. And James, are you guys upstairs or downstairs?
We'll be
You're
upstairs.
gonna be upstairs
Yeah,
in the
they got the
ballroom.
ballroom.
So
Yeah.
it's at 8 p.m., 8
Yes.
to 11:30 p.m. So that's right, because you guys were talking about the air conditioning and whether it would be on or not. And I remember just a short time ago when there was no air conditioning
Yeah.
up there in the
They
ballroom.
just opened the windows.
Yeah,
And I feel like that did
hoped
less.
for a cool breeze.
Yeah.
I played one hot summer night there. It was rough.
I can imagine. Yeah.
Yeah, they've made a ton of great renovations, so it's a treat to play up there now.
You know what,
So,
it really,
yeah.
it was a nice space before, but really after the renovations, especially with some of the lighting renovations that they've
Oh,
done
absolutely.
in that place up in the ballroom, it's unbelievable up there now.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
one of our favorite venues to play by far.
Comfort zone.
Yeah, the people and the dedication they have to improving the ballroom is really incredible. So it's always nice to play there.
Yeah, it's a great place to go watch a show too,
Mhm.
and they always, depending on the show, they kind of set it up in different ways, whether they have the tables or standing room only or
Yeah.
however it goes.
Mhm.
So you're saying James Street would close down if the bathrooms weren't available?
I would
hope
hope
so.
so. I don't want to know what their
Didn't-
employees are doing at that
Didn't we
point.
have that boil advisory a month or so ago?
Oh
on the
yeah,
north side?
that's an interesting
and then
point.
you guys had one
actually.
here in Millvale too.
Yeah,
a little
and
after
it's
that.
all we're kind of screwed here in Millville because we're under the PWSA, but it's taxation without representation because it comes out of the city of Pittsburgh, and they're screwing us over. And now this is what kills me. So the pirates are trying to help out the people of Puerto Rico. As you know, Puerto Rico, rough place. They're in a rough position. They've been attacked with these hurricanes. People are without power. People don't have drinking water, much like Pittsburgh. So now the PWSA is sending clean drinking water to Puerto Rico. Just let that sink in.
Mm-hmm.
The PWSA is sending clean drinking water to Puerto Rico.
But not here.
Yeah, we can't get clean drinking water here in
I
Millville.
get what you're saying. It's not clean here.
Yeah,
We can send it to there.
exactly.
Ew.
So,
So
is it a lie if they're telling you it's not clean to get some kind of more money or taxing or? Yeah.
I just find it ironic. Now, what they're doing, basically what it is if you remember during that boil notice, after, there was the 4 days that birds were pooping in the water that they didn't tell us about, and then there were those other 4 days where they did tell us about it, but they didn't do anything to help us get clean drinking water. Well, then after that, they came out with these stations where you could come and pick up water. So basically, that's what they're sending to Puerto Rico. Apparently, they keep water in reserve that is clean by their standards. That I don't know what that means, but they have clean water set aside for emergencies, and I guess they have an excess of it, so they're sending that to Puerto Rico. So I think it's nice to help Puerto Rico. I just wonder how clean the water is, and I just wonder if they can get it, why can't we?
Unless they have to boil too, we don't know.
Yeah, maybe they got to boil the water as well.
I
so.
find it ironic how it's water that washed Puerto Rico down, and then we come back with water.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, but salt water, versus fresh water, and
Yeah, it's just.
but yeah, I just.
A lot of water.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah,
Like,
James
something
Street.
about the water, man. But here's some
It,
fresh
it's
water.
just funny we brought up the water because that was something I did want to talk about today because I just thought that was great.
Mhm.
The PWSA sending clean water to Puerto Rico.
That is nice of them to do that. Send some our way.
Please.
Just
So-
saying. Just
So tell me about the album.
yes.
Tell us about
So the album's called Follow These Rivers. We started recording almost a year ago now, about 10 months. And we worked with a local producer in the north side. His name's Jake Sherrick. And we worked with another producer named Jason Levis, who kind of mixed it all down and put the final touches on it. It's a lot of songs I've written over like 10-year period, and it's kind of just the culmination of all that. So it's really cool. A lot of these songs I've written acoustically, but then brought them to the group, and everybody put their own little flair and flavor on them. And it's pretty exciting stuff. It's the real deal album, It's
Okay.
we took the time and the effort and everything to do it right, and so we're really proud of it so far. So,
So what do you guys have planned for tonight at James Street?
you want to take this one, John?
Yeah, so we're gonna run through the entire album, not in its exact order, for show effect, I suppose.
So you can't
But,
paint it. You're painting outside the lines.
Yeah. So yeah, all 12 songs that are on the album will be played live tonight. We do add a handful of covers. We kind of try to put in something that's true to us, not your everyday covers. But something that's cool to play, interactive with the audience. A lot of the shows I've seen, I love like when a band just throws that really kind of different cover at you. So we have a couple of those, and then some of the standards, and that's pretty much it. I mean, it's a good, solid show. There's a couple ballads in there, which is really cool. I think it's a good balance for a show like that, especially. And then I'd be remiss not to mention our openers. So Sadie Freund will be our first opener
Nice.
today, who we actually just
I was gonna say, tell the story.
Tuesday night, James and I decided to go to the open mic at the Speakeasy at James Street. And this very unassuming girl walks up to stage, kind of like, I'm gonna give this a shot. And she's like, does anybody have an acoustic guitar? And then the room was just kind of like, like we didn't hear her. We were the only ones with acoustics there. And then she was like,
Sorry,
does any?
Sadie.
Yeah, we
We
had
weren't
them. We're
ignoring
sorry.
you. We swear.
And then she gets up on stage. She's like, well, all right, does anybody have an electric guitar? So someone's like, well, yeah, here, you can use this. And then she's like, well, does anybody have a capo? So it was an interesting thing to watch unfold. And then it was just the most incredible thing to watch. Like, she hadn't played electric guitar. Obviously, that's 6 strings, just like any other guitar, but she just, it was unreal. It was moving, it was
like,
emotional. She
instant
absolutely
goosebumps.
killed
It's
it.
funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that too about Sadie because I've known her for a while and she's out. She's dynamic. She's so great.
That's
Incredible.
awesome. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I would ask people and they were like, "Yeah, I know who she is," and I was
Yeah.
like, "Well, I'm sorry that I came so late to the party. I wish I'd known because she
Yeah.
was an incredible talent." And so we were like, "What do you think? Like, should we ask her to play Saturday? It's kind of late notice." She had like walked out of the venue very quickly, and I had to run her car down. and I gave her a card and said, "This sounds nuts, but if you're free Saturday, we want you playing." So she's going to open the show, which is fantastic. And then another local artist, PM Mir, who
Yes.
is Will Jurgens, who you're familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
Will blows me away.
Yeah, he's fantastic
he
as
is,
well.
He is an unbelievable writer. He's an amazing vocalist. So our 2 openers are awesome tonight, which is going to be a great start to the show. They're a little more mellow, which I think is cool. We have a bus. I'm from Zelienople. We actually Chris, Tom, and I went to Seneca Valley, so we're all from the north a little bit. We have a bus, school bus, loading up on Main Street in Zelienople with about
That's
40,
awesome.
40 people on it, ready to come down and unload at James Street. So that should be really cool too. And it'll give everybody a nice long night of good music, I hope.
All right, let me ask y'all something. It's not every day that we get bands to come down here and stuff. We definitely need to get more down here too, because you guys seem like real cool. Now, I haven't heard the album yet, and this is the question I usually ask most band people when they come in here, because I haven't heard it yet. What would you say would be like your music influences? So that way I kind of know what type of music
So that's kind of a funny thing is we all have
You might
different
as well go
ones.
down the line.
Yeah.
But yeah, we could start down
Just
the
throw
line.
some names
pretty
out there
much,
that I
but
would know. Trust me, I know some stuff.
On my end, it's a lot more like the singer-songwriters. You think of like a Bob Dylan, like a Ben Folds.
Okay.
To, Tom Petty,
Yes.
Those
Rest in
kind
peace,
of
Tom
guys.
Petty.
Yeah, exactly, man. So those kind of guys for me, it's a lot of the singer-songwritery, like telling stories kind of deal. But then what makes it cool is that I'll let you guys tell all your influences, but like we're all from different places, and the music just comes together like a puzzle. So it's really cool.
Okay. How about you?
Chris, take it away.
I think mine would probably be the farthest from the spectrum the album's on. There's nothing I won't listen to, but if I'm on like my 20-minute drive to work, I'm probably going to put in something pretty punk heavy. Like currently in my CD player, and yes, it's a CD player. I don't have music on my phone.
Hey, nothing wrong with that, man.
You should get tuned in radio and listen to the River's Edge.
Yeah.
But it's Minor Threat right now, so
I've heard of them.
yeah,
Okay.
I'm really into just kind of like the heavier, like college rock sort of scene.
You must have to get really pumped to go to work. To listen to that.
I work in a kitchen, so
Yeah, okay.
I gotta wake myself
Enough
up.
said. Enough said. How about y'all?
I'm all over the place. I'm classic rock, blues,
Okay.
90s rock, favorite
90s rock is awesome.
90s rock is probably my favorite. I mean, that's my era.
Okay.
And I'm like Chris too. I like heavier stuff too, more edgy. But I'll sit there and listen to I'll listen to anything.
Okay.
I'm a country fan, but everything else is pretty much let it go.
All right.
So you said you're not a country fan?
Nah, I mean I just can't.
What about old?
I was
country?
I thought maybe a little bit because you threw me off by the hat.
I can screw
So I thought that you might know
screw you up,
country rap, or country rock, or something like that.
I could
But
probably screw up. Bluegrass I love.
Yeah.
He's
Okay.
He's talented.
Okay.
Just the current country to me is just not. It's very.
Like pop country.
It's pop country, or what they call it, hip hop.
Oh, that really?
Yeah, yeah.
I've heard that term.
Yeah.
It's just not. I don't know. It's too.
A lot of it's the same too. They talk about the same things.
Yeah, your
like
tractor,
this-
your girlfriend.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just. Yeah.
beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mudding.
I mean, I like the track. Your tractors, girlfriends, whatever. They're all cool, but you don't have to write every song about it. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
definitely.
So I actually started as a singer-songwriter. So when I was 15, I released my first solo album and then released another album when I was 21. So that's kind of where the bigger picture of all this works. James ended up being my guitarist. Tom ended up being my guitarist. So my influence from that was like a lot of the singer-songwriters from the 70s. I grew up listening to like Cat Stevens, Bob Dylan, John Prine, people like that. So I love just singer-songwriter stuff.
Okay.
The stuff we kind of ended up getting into is a little more on the progressive end, bit like Dashboard or something like that. So that's kind of how we all ended up coming together. But yeah, as a drummer though, so that's what's kind of odd is I just kind of became the drummer 2 years ago, and it had been quite the hiatus that I'd taken from drums. So huge fan of Travis Barker, grew up loving Blink-182.
I know them.
I have like one.
I know Blink-182.
1/10
I
of the
remember
skill
them.
that man
Mine as well.
possesses, but
I'm not sitting here waiting. I'm like, I know some of these people. But the ones that I do know, I'm going to yell it out. So that way
yeah. But I mean, I appreciate great drummers. I just can't do what they do. So I'm actually a perfect fit for this band because I couldn't outperform James even if I wanted to. So I just kind of I sit in the background and I don't want people to notice me. And those are the influential drummers I have are the ones that you're just like, yeah, they found a pocket and they belong there. But that's as far as.
Well, it's
it needs
super
to go.
important, that a drummer can keep a band together too, because you really depend on the drummer. To,
the drummer is like the staple.
Yeah,
in a
that's what
way.
Chris and I
Yeah,
are trying.
you gotta-
Chris is the bassist, so that's what we're really trying to hold down is that rhythm section and just
Yeah.
make sure that
Okay, so
we're
we-
as tight as can be.
Okay, so we made it clear that you do the drums. What do you guys do? Like,
I'm bass.
okay, bass.
I play guitar and do the lead vocals.
Okay.
Guitar, lead guitar, I guess, whatever you want. to
Okay.
Yeah, the main can
Okay.
shred.
So you guys all have different backgrounds. How does a band come together when you have so many different influences and different styles?
That's a really good question.
So I think a lot of it honestly can come in production. The one huge thing we have is a longtime friend of mine, Jason Levis, who ended up like putting the final production on the album. That can bring that cohesion that you kind of would think would be missing when you listen to those four styles. But even when we sit and write as a band, I mean, everybody just understands that what we're going for has a certain spot that we need to fit into. So as much as Tom has a classic rock influence, he manages to balance that with what we need from him. It's not just all shredding. There are really intricate and nice parts that he brings. Same with Chris, with a more progressive punk background, a little bit of a jazzier background. There's a lot of movement in his bass, but it fits exactly what we do. So I think that's kind of what we just all... It's about setting your ego aside, I think, more than anything, and just saying, look, we need to write the music the way it's supposed to come out, and not,
Right.
not step on each other's toes to put our own thing on it.
And it's a testament to these guys' musicianship. I mean, they're talented musicians. You know, they don't hear one thing and play one thing. They are they've adapted very well to something that I kind of threw at them. We made it our own, but
Okay.
but it's a testament to their talent to be
So
able to.
you started everything and brought everyone together. Is that accurate?
In a way, so 2 years ago, I put out a solo EP just to kind of prove that I could still do it. I had taken a break from music. I had to have surgery on my vocal cords, and they didn't know if I'd ever be able to sing again or even like talk normally again. So
That would be horrifying.
yeah. So that was kind of like imagine just like
It's kind of like I had a little bit of a cold, and I was thinking like, and that's actually it has happened to me where we talked about this before. I'll tell the story after your story.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, so basically it was kind of to prove that I could still do it, and like kind of like going down where you were saying, like sometimes we'll have a heavy weekend of shows, and you get a little cough or something, you're like that could have been it. So in that regard, I never leave anything on the table at a show because you never know when it could be your last, anyways, just in general. But that's a little dark. But anyway, so 2 years ago, put out a solo EP and was looking for like a full band to fill it out because I recorded all the instruments and everything myself, and I did it at home. It sounded pretty decent, but it was still like not the full real product, And I wanted to play live shows with a great band. And John, I kept in touch with over the years. Called him first, called Tom, and then luckily John and Chris had been working together at the time and brought them in, and so it just worked. It's one of those things. It doesn't happen often, but it just worked.
All right, one more question. Biggest crowd you ever performed in front of? Largest?
Probably yesterday.
Capacity.
The wait and see. though.
Yeah, live show, I would
500.
500 or less.
guess so.
500.
Jurgles was probably, we opened for like an Eagles tribute band at
Oh, yeah.
They
Jurgles.
sold it out.
Okay.
And they
Yeah.
sold it out,
So
so they
people-
say it's about 500 people, but just
That's a good number.
Yeah.
It's a real good
Just
number.
for us, 2 weeks ago we were up in northeast PA, just about 30 miles east of Erie. That's actually James' hometown, and they do a wine fest every year.
Yeah.
So we headlined their Friday night like wine festival, and there were
So you guys are fans of wine?
350. I'm a non-drinker, but they might be.
I dabble.
So
I
that
dabble in the
was
wine.
That's
I
a bad night.
don't have
That's
the
about
taste.
350.
You're speaking his language now. Now you're just like,
I know you lit up.
you see that grin?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's probably 400 people that just came to see us, which
And then
that's
you get the people passing through.
which
too.
that's an awesome. That's really. I mean, that's when you sit behind your instrument
that's
and
pretty
think
cool.
this is really why we do it. And,
Exactly.
You
Yeah.
really feel grateful for the opportunity.
Starting to get crowds like that this summer has been like a huge just boost. It's felt great. When you can bounce energy back and forth with a crowd like that size, it's pretty cool. And like John said, that's why we keep doing it. It's just
Yeah.
a blast.
Right.
That's great. Well, we had our 1 year anniversary, and you were there for that
Yes.
at the 1 year anniversary party. This is more than a year ago because we're now 2.5 years old. But you mentioned about losing your voice, and as a talk radio host, you're always afraid to lose your voice as well. So literally, right before this 1 year anniversary party, it was the first big event that we've ever held with the River's Edge. I get sick because you're awake, you're all the time, nonstop, so your immune system wears down, you get sick, and I just kept hoping, please don't let me lose my voice. Well, I started to lose my voice about a week before the show, and I thought, that's great. Lose it now, I'll regain it for the show. So I'm I'm drinking literal lemon juice out of the bottle.
I remember
for
you
days.
doing that.
Yeah. Chewing down
Whole
honey
room
as
smelled
well.
like lemon.
Yeah, honey, lemon juice,
Could be worse.
just chugging it.
I was like, are we cleaning
for
something?
a week? Yeah, a week straight. So the day of the party, I'm sick. Well, right before the party, going into the party from work the night before, I lose my voice completely. And of course, someone pisses me off at work, which is an easy thing to do. So I'm whispering loudly at this person, as loud as I can. So I get to the 1 year party. I've got my show. It's a half-hour show for the party. I'm hosting the event. I have no voice at all. So I'm up there literally screaming the entire time just to sound similar to what I sound now. And of course there's an event I had to go to afterwards here and then work after that. So I'm here in Smalls, which is like this giant fortress, bent over because I can't walk straight anymore. Hello, talking to everybody as I'm going through this complex like Quasimodo here in the building. So trust me, I understand that fear, but luckily it wasn't anything as serious as surgery. But yeah.
Yeah, that's always a fear. So
Yeah,
I'm glad it came back.
Yeah.
It can be tough.
That's crazy. So this is exciting. So what is special about this album?
The real special thing to me is that it's a full length, like real album. You know, like I said earlier, we didn't leave any stone unturned as far as like making sure that it's the best possible product it could be. You know, I'm not very good at being patient and letting things happen and develop as they should. You know, but the fact that we took almost a year to get this thing going was a challenge, but it made it worth it. So the special thing about it is, you know, we've been around for a couple years, but we've been kind of low key. And with this album, we're really hoping to be like, hey, here we are, have a listen. You know, we're worth your time to jam out with us. So it's kind of what this album really is kind of celebrating. It's kind of our emergence, so to speak.
All right, now you know, like how with most bands, like, you know, or any musical performer, you know, like they always pick like one song out of the album, and like say they put it on video. What would be like the hit that most people would say is like the standout song on this
all
one?
at the same time.
Oh man,
It's been a while.
I think there's two that we go back and forth between. You had first, Tom.
Bottles.
Bottles, number 2.
Yeah,
Bottles for you.
that's probably the one that I think is the best song.
Okay.
It's actually not it's not the single we released, but it's the one that I think most people are going to listen to that album and have a strong opinion on. So
That is the one I will listen first.
Well, I've got Home.
I will listen to
up
all
here.
of them, but
Home.
Do we want to play that as we
Home
wrap things
Home
up?
is my favorite on the album.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Home.
that's the one.
That's
Number three.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
so, but
that
Bottles.
is the single we released.
Yeah.
So, if it's okay, I would like to mention we released our first single, Home. We actually paired with an environmental nonprofit down in Wilmington, North Carolina, the Plastic Ocean Project. Dedicated fully to removing plastic out of the oceans. James actually has a master's in environmental science, so it's something that he's always had that passion, and it's just kind of something that we've taken on as a band. We want to, we really do care about taking care of the planet and doing what's right. So we actually have something right now going on our Facebook page. You can win a $25 Amazon gift card and some merch from us. Skip the straw. When you're out at a restaurant, just ask for them to not give you the straw.
Okay.
Straws are one of the worst pollutants.
Really?
About 500 million straws are used every day and thrown away and not recycled.
Yes.
And
And
then
half the time they're broken and they're like, they make them cheaper now, which might be more environmentally safe, but because of that, you can't do this
Right,
anymore,
yeah.
so then it's like all messed up anyways. So.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we've been skipping the straw, and so what we did was we released our first single, Home, in tandem with the Plastic Ocean Project. They sent us a bunch of great video footage that they got out of the oceans, a lot of like really impactful stuff, and then we put some statistics on there as well just to let everybody know what's actually happening in our oceans as far as plastic goes. So it's really cool. We put it on our Facebook, and the Plastic Ocean Project picked it up as well, and some of the proceeds from tonight's show will go back to the Plastic Ocean Project. It's just something that, it means a lot to us. So the video is really cool. It's really impactful, and it's not like what you'd expect from a first music video, but it works really well with the song. And
yeah, exactly. That's a good way to put it. It's just about helping to raise awareness.
Yeah. I never would have thought the straws. I always would have thought like the 6-pack plastic rings.
Those two, yeah. But
Yeah.
if you think of like an
People
easy
are
thing to
aware
cut
of
out
those
real
things.
quick, just to
Yeah.
say no
What's that?
straw is really, it's like a good starting point for people. So
Right. Although I did see this one video, I can't remember what kind of underwater creature it was, but I remember that they had these pliers and they were actually pulling the straw.
Turtle.
It was a turtle. Yes.
Yeah.
They took it out of its
we've all
nose.
Yeah.
seen- yeah, it's
Oh my god.
hard to watch.
It looked painful.
It's
You
hard to
mentioned the
watch.
rings. that you have around the pop. Was that you, Jay?
Yeah,
Yes.
That, so,
Yes.
Mike Zicafus, who's a great artist and he's a musician. He does a million different things. He's here at Smalls. We just had a discussion with him about All Scene, which is a music festival happening here at Mr. Smalls the following weekend. So it's not competing with your guys' show. But we go back and listen to my interview with Zicafus. But anyways, he uses those actual rings and turns them into art. So he saves, because he works here at Smalls as a bartender as well, and he saves all of those rings so they don't get thrown away, and he turns them into artwork.
That's
and then,
awesome.
And then sells them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
So-
good. That's good for everybody.
3 R's: reduce, reuse, and recycle. That's a good way to reuse
Yeah.
something that
Exactly.
would, go in a landfill and work its way down.
Yeah, so I always
Somewhere
thought that
bad,
was
so.
kind of cool.
Yeah.
So we can see you guys tonight, and that's going to be at 8 p.m. It's 8 to 11:30 at James Street in the ballroom upstairs. And if you want to make it to the Wine Fest, it starts before your
Right.
guys' event, so you can make it to the Wine Fest if you really want to try out some good wine along the river, and then make your way. Actually, you know what you could do? It's along the river trail. If you don't get in trouble, you could walk along the river right to James Street. Get your wine,
There you
be
go.
safe, and just walk right down.
Hey,
'cause it's
follow
right-
these rivers.
So
and
you're
get
going to be the
James
designated driver, right?
I can be. That's all
Right along the river
He's
trail.
very well
been my
adjusted to
position
that.
since I was, a teenager.
So-
You can walk down the trail. You can definitely walk down the trail, and you make
You
it
could.
right on Sandusky.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you walk straight up, and you can go up Cedar. Then you walk up, go past East Ohio, make the right on the 4-lane, and you're right there.
And you're there. Yeah, that's it. That's simple.
All right, we've got Cooper's Corner right up after the break, but right now we have Home. We're going to play that right here on Pittsburgh's Voice for Local Music, the River's Edge Radio Network. Tonight, 8 to 11:30 p.m. at the James Street Gastropub at Speakeasy. James Drakes and the Chris Taylor Trio. Check them out. Home right now here on the River's Edge.
Jaye CT3.
plastic soap bottles. One of the very worst that I've seen.
Corner. Cooper's Corner. Cooper's Corner. Cooper's Corner.
One day we gonna get a budget. Yes, here we go.
Woo!
All right.
We switch it up every other week.
All right, it's time for Cooper's Corner here on the River's Edge Radio Network. Jay, what do you have for us this week?
Okay, this actually took place at a restaurant in Long Island, New York. Security cameras caught a burglar who took his time out from crime to prepare a meal. The guy, burglar, he came inside the restaurant and prepared a meal, ate it, and then on top of this, he cleaned up after himself.
Oh,
He was a very considerate
tight.
burglar.
I know, right?
fantastic.
New wave of burgers.
We've got Howie joining us now as well for
Yes,
those of
yes.
you who are going to listen on the podcast. Because you can't listen live at riversedgepgh.com because
Cause why?
Studio radio.co just decided that live broadcasts aren't a thing this morning.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Refund.
We're here live. Yeah. Yes, I see money coming back our way.
Right?
Yes.
So anyway, this burglar, he broke in around 2 a.m. on Tuesday, and this guy, the manager said that the guy was like a pro. He donned the gloves, he did the pots and pans. The guy cooked beans and stuff. He knew how to wash everything the right
You have
way.
a chef's hat.
He didn't wear the
That would
hat.
actually be a great disguise because you can put like eye slit holes because it's really tall.
Yes.
And just pull it down over your head on your way in.
Yeah, that would.
That's
be
a great
So
disguise.
did he prep?
Yeah, the guy did. He just walked in like he didn't have no mask on or nothing. He just walked in like he owned the place. The guy sauteed chicken, shrimp, held the pan.
That sounds nice.
Right? But here's the even funnier part. Okay, then he used a hammer to break open the cash register. He took $100 except one $1 bill, and he left it in the tip jar.
He's not going to rob you because he's considerate, and he's not going to rob you blind. And by the way, did he prep for the next day for the next crew coming in? Did he prep? I want to know if he did any
Dice
prep.
some onions.
Yeah, everything. Slice the meats and everything.
I will say that the owner of the place, Nellie Balecho, she said that she was very impressed by the burglar skills. So who knows? Maybe this guy might get a job. Who knows? I don't know. That is one of the
That
weirdest
is-
news I've ever looked up before.
That
That
application.
That is
How you gonna
like
leave that
a,
off? You got to leave that you broke in already off your resume, I think.
I don't know. Maybe they'll take it. They'll take it as a thing like he's got a lot of initiative. He's got.
Yeah.
You know,
What's
like
your prior experience?
Well,
Well,
right.
I cooked in your kitchen.
You
one
did.
day.
Right.
Look at
Well,
look at
Have you ever worked for us before? Well, not really. Kind of, but not
I
really.
interned.
Yeah.
I interned for you. I worked, but I didn't get paid for it.
Right.
But he did, right?
Yes.
I
What
do
were you
work
saying?
nights.
It's definitely one. Yeah, we're going to work nights. That's a hard thing for most.
It's a hard thing. Yeah, it's hard
I
to
know,
get people
right?
to do that.
Most
Trust
people
me.
don't like to work at 2 o'clock in the morning.
It's not that much fun. I know.
Best thing I heard all week.
That's a good one.
I know, right?
That's good.
This is one of the best stories I've ever told
That
on this
is
quarter.
definitely. Can he come break into my house?
You got food?
What about Thanksgiving?
Make extra-
Yeah,
about
that's
Thanksgiving?
later on Thanksgiving. Yeah.
Yeah.
He can put the turkey in for you and stuff. I've been robbed blind, but dinner's almost ready.
Yeah, and you might get a tip out of it.
I do want to find ways to make because I've seen people on TV show different ways of how to use a turkey after Thanksgiving. So if he can just come in at any time, and I can just come in the morning, and he has I don't know, turkey over toast with gravy or some shit, or some
Turkey soup.
or turkey
there
soup,
you
or turkey a la king. I don't even know what the hell that is, but it sounds good.
It's good. Whatever.
Turkey omelets.
Hey, my mom stopped cooking, so I'm just like, damn. We go to
See, I'm
Chinese
spoiled.
buffets for Thanksgiving, so
I don't even live at home, and my mom keeps cooking. So my mom works in the same building as me, and she's just
Okay.
like, I don't even have to bring a lunch. It's just set up for me. That's the one perk about where I work.
that is awesome.
The lunch is always there, waiting for me when I come in, and it's home cooked stuff most of the time.
Starting to
Yeah.
lose the sympathy for your overnight gig, man.
I know, right? You
Sounded
failed to
rough.
mention that. In all these years, you never mentioned that your mom cooked for you.
It's actually something I've
and stuff.
considered too when I've thought about transferring to different places in my
Can
organization.
my mom go?
Yeah, right. Can she,
You know, speaking,
she works during the daytime, so it's just already left there.
And
waiting for me.
And speaking of your mom, I mean, I did talk to her before we left
The pod party, yeah.
But if
Which
she's
was a
watching,
huge success. This is the first time I've been on for a regular show since the pod party. Talk about a success. Thank you so much to the Panza Gallery, to Laurel Highlands Meadery, to North Country Brewing, to everyone who came out, all of the shows, the great musicians. We had Lady Jessica.
What about the mead guy?
Jenny and the Jags. That's
Jenny and
Laurel
Jags
Highlands
was
Meadery.
awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, the mead.
We had Francis Fitzgerald and we had Gabe Reed. Just some amazing.
Was that the redhead who played
Yeah.
guitar? He was awesome.
Yeah, he was great.
Oh my god! And shout out to all the podcasters.
Did
of
we say
course, here on
Jenny,
the River's
Jenny and the
Edge.
Jag?
Yeah,
Jenny
we
and
did
the
mention
Jags.
them.
Yeah.
Jenny and the
Really,
Jags.
really fantastic party. Everything turned out great.
And the reason why I brought that up, before I forget, your mom made those delicious cupcakes.
Yeah, they were
with,
great.
I don't know what the hell she put on top of it. I don't know if it was a
I think it was a pudding or
like-
something. Yeah,
It was,
I don't know. They were
Miss
great.
Crawford, your cupcakes was delicious.
Did you know she was her and my dad were the first sponsors of this program.
That is awesome.
So in a way,
Yeah.
Well,
That's how you support your
That's what it
kids. You
takes.
know, that's
That's
awesome.
exactly it.
Yeah.
well, they helped well, not all of this, but they helped get us some of our initial equipment when we first started off and
I
stuff
love
like that. So
Well, we definitely
really
thank
cool.
you for that, and we definitely thank you for the cupcakes because I smashed them. I felt like, like how when Forrest Gump, when he was at the White House and he said, I drank about 15 Dr. Peppers. I must have had about 15, 16 cupcakes, man. I fucked them up, man. It was so good.
He was going crazy on the cupcakes and beer.
Cupcakes and beer, yeah.
I was going crazy on the beer. Oh my god, that night. So Monday I was supposed to have a show, but we weren't able to get everything set up in time, so we decided to delay it. But Sunday was a nightmare. So the party itself was fantastic. We had a great time. Amazing beer from North Country Brewing and great mead from Laurel Highlands Meadery.
Yes.
And I was obviously, I didn't host the event, but it was the event that I organized. So.
Yeah, shout out to
Just-
Ian Insect, the host.
Yeah.
Shout out
so
to Ian.
you guys here, you're all you have the CD release party tonight. So you're gonna be schmoozing, right? If you're not on stage playing, you're gonna be shaking hands. Hey, how's
kissing
it going?
babies.
Shaking hands,
Yeah,
kissing babies.
exactly. That's what you do when you have an event. So you don't have much time to really do anything else. So I didn't eat all day, but I'm downing this great beer in this great mead. So by the end of it, I was a little tipsy. But that was about it, and I said, let's
we
go
use
to
that term lightly.
yeah. So at the end of the event, I said, let's go to the Double L because they're a sponsor of the network, and we can get some more drinks there. So we all go to the Double L. I'm there, and Lisa Love, another great sponsor of the network from Salon 22, she starts buying me shots because it's my birthday. So here I am. I had one piece of pizza all day, and I've just been drinking North Country Brewing, Laurel Highlands Meadery, and now drinking shots at the Double L from Salon 22's Lisa Love. It was crazy. So the next day, I'm just laying there in so much pain in the fetal position all day. I'm texting Mark, what time can I come over to help clean up the gallery? Mark Panza, the space, thinking, I was just in so much pain, such a hangover. I felt like I could have been in a casket at Hahn Funeral Home, the only family-owned funeral home here in Millville.
I love the way he
specializes in green burials.
Yeah.
Because that's where I felt like I should have been.
Shout
And
out to another
honestly,
great sponsor.
if I had drank any more, I probably could have been, and there's no other place I would have rather been if I was in that predicament. But it was a good party.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
It was
Honestly,
awesome.
it was so
It
much.
started at what, 5? Or did
It started at 5:30. The doors open
So-
with music from
So
Lady
that's when,
Jessica.
that's when the first drink started.
Yeah.
So
So tipsy.
Started is a relative phrase,
Right.
but Matt,
For those who came
Matt,
in
Matt
there
from,
started,
Matt
he
from Laurel
probably
Highlands
started.
Meadery. Matt,
Pre-game.
Matt from you know what? No, I was looking out for our guests. Matt from Laurel Highlands Meadery. He came to set up early. He got there around 5. I had to help him set up. I had to grab the mead if a little bit of it spilled into my mouth. I mean, that's just what it's just what happens when you decide to take the charge and make sure that everything is set up on time. and I wanted to make sure that everything was set up on time. I needed to help Matt, so
So it's really big on you. I mean, you
Yeah,
really,
I
you went above and beyond.
I was going above and beyond
Yeah,
to try to
that's-
make our guests feel welcome
So this
and happy.
This guy is
Commendable.
Stephen Fernald. I'm guessing he's a friend of yours.
Yeah, he's one of the hosts of Bold Nights Out, which you can hear on Wednesdays at 10 a.m. here
He said,
at the River's Edge.
okay, he said, Brian, you need to step up your drinking game and take off your skirt.
Oh man!
Ooh, them's fighting words.
Hey, Steve couldn't handle all of that beer and mead. That's why he didn't show up.
Ooh.
So
You can come get smashed tonight at James Street. With
That's
us.
right.
I mean,
Right?
if you want to show them what you're made of, we're not gonna hate it.
yes, head up to the Wine Fest, then head up to James Street, and you will get all the alcohol that you need. So.
Before the funeral.
Yes,
Right.
before you head to Hans. So, actually, Hans would be a great place to throw a party, and I've been thinking about maybe.
Or Halloween.
You better be registered for this funeral home because, God forbid, something do happen to you. Then you end up going to another funeral home.
Yeah.
They're going to be pissed.
They'll send you to the wrong one.
You need to
I can
get
see
that
his
will
casket
going.
now with we have stickers on it. It's going to have Millville Music Fest.
There's more.
Oh yeah.
I will
Totally sponsored casket.
You all got band stickers on.
We gotta have like the NASCAR looking jacket with our local sponsors on it.
I want every band that ever came to River's Edge, that River's Edge ever came to see, to throw in their album in the casket. Like,
And then
seriously.
like, we
Yeah,
take
it's like pouring one out.
and
Right.
posters,
Buried
CDs
up to
and
your
posters.
head. CDs.
Yeah.
Oh,
And when we take them to the graveyard, it has to be Lyft and Uber on sponsored on this, and with Z Trip on the other.
The nice thing about this event too, with the pod party, is it's the first time I've been able to actually really enjoy one of our events.
That is an idea.
Yes.
We
Because
can
it
get
was fun.
sponsored for our funerals.
Still on.
Yeah, I like it. It's a sponsored
There's a whole
funeral.
business idea going
Yeah,
on.
that's
there.
a-
I like it.
It's something new. We'll work on
It would be
it.
so much easier on my family, but you know.
Put a feather in
You know
your
what? You could actually get
Yeah.
away with that. Certain people could get away with that. Super respect. Super respect for all of the people in law enforcement, but any cop in Westmoreland County could easily get a funeral sponsored for them. I mean,
Yeah.
somebody passes away and it's horrible, but it's weird because they put it on cable TV, and I always thought it was weird to watch someone else's funeral that you've never met.
Yeah, it's a personal thing, right?
Yeah, right? And I feel like it would be weird for the family, but I could easily see, like, one of these family members could easily get a sponsor for that funeral because it's going to be plastered all over KDKA, WTAE, WPXI. There you go. That's actually not a bad idea for certain professions.
Yep.
So anybody who's famous...
we're important. We're part of the media.
That's right.
We sure
I want
are.
to get sponsored by Erotica, Lush, Stiffies, Trojans, Dura.
I'm a Durex man, so I would rather have a Durex sponsorship.
KY Jelly. What's that place out there on McKnight Road with all the toys? The Don't Play. What's that? Where they get?
Don't Mark or something.
Yeah, Don't Mark. Right?
All right.
That's so awesome that y'all knew that.
And various.
It's something like that.
And various.
I don't know for sure, but
And various massage parties.
I see it in passing, you know.
McDonald's is right there. It's close.
They'd be like, "Oh, guys, welcome back. Haven't seen you in a while."
I want to go to a nice massage, with a rubbing pool, with the rubbing pool specials, and
Must be
Going that
foreign.
route.
I don't want no Americans.
You know what? If you walk
Gotta
into a
be
massage
Japanese,
party
Indian.
and there's some American come, how pissed off would you be?
I'd be so mad. I can do that for
Well, that
free.
reminds me of this
I'm
time I
paying
went to this,
for
I went to
Yes.
this restaurant in Disney World, and we're going to take a quick time out after this and come back in for the hood rat of the week.
All right.
But I went to this there were two Japanese restaurants in Disney World in the Epcot Japanese section. One of them was called Mikado, and it was this fancy Japanese place, 3 restaurants in one. And it was great because I had taken Japanese for 4 years in high school, so at the time I knew how to say certain things in Japanese. So I'm having some very, very light conversation with these people in Japanese, and they were just thrilled. People in Japan love it when somebody who's a Caucasian, especially an American, who knows Japanese. Like, they think it's cool. It's like, oh, wow, you took the time to learn the language. So they're all excited. And it makes me excited as a high school kid who's spent 4 years learning Japanese to see them excited that I know Japanese. So the next day we go to the fast food restaurant. And I go up and I try to order in Japanese, and they just look at me like, what the fuck are you doing? And I keep trying to talk to them in Japanese, and they're just giving me this puzzled look like, huh? So basically what Disney does for the fast food restaurant is they hire Asian-looking people and throw them in the fast food restaurant to try to make it look like it's Japan.
I've never been to Japan. I'm from Okalaka. From the projects in Opalaka.
That's like the people of New York City when they hire Puerto Ricans to dress up like Indians for the Macy Day Parade.
Yeah. Close enough.
You're close enough.
All right, we're going to take a brief time out. When we come back, we've got the Hood Rat of the Week. This is The River's Edge.
Hi, I'm Rob Spear, host of Damn Near Killed Him, an interview show where anything goes.
Once they gave it to me, you could have stuck a telephone pole up my ass.
I was about to be kicked out of the country.
That's where they send the worst of the worst.
In a psych ward, normal things seem so weird in there.
He was making $5,000 a month doing gay audiobooks.
Here's some stories from people who have been to the edge and back. Thursday morning at 9 a.m. on riversedgepgh.com or download on iTunes.
I mean, that's some pretty cool shit.
What y'all don't hear is Hillary Clinton laughing.
Look, we came, we saw, you died.
All right, you're listening to the River's Edge Radio Network. Time for
Hood Rat of the Week, baby. That's right. Yes. Okay. Shout out to Hillary Clinton for always providing her voice for the theme song of Hood Rat of the Week, which is played every first and third Saturday here at River Talk. All right, for today's Hood Rat of the Week, this goes out to a woman by the name of Haley Geffman Gold, who used to be a vice president who worked for CBS. This is this article I'm reading from is compliments of CBS.com. CBS parted ways with one of the company's top lawyers, and she was also vice president with the company also. But after she was not even sympathetic to the victims of the Las Vegas shooting, because in her words, and I'm saying it in quotes, country music fans are often Republican, when discussing the mass shooting that unfolded in Las Vegas last Sunday. So Monday night, after they fired her, of course. They fired her for posting that. She posted it on Facebook, which she shouldn't have done.
Or just thought that anybody should be murdered because of a political belief. I mean, that's another thing that you maybe just shouldn't think.
Yeah. You get that far in life.
Right.
You gotta be really smart to get that job.
Right? Very educated.
So stupid to lose it.
See, this is what goes out to. I hope this be a lesson to souls who watch this. But you got to understand that there's a certain line you don't cross, and on top of that, you got to be really high up the food chain to be able to say whatever the hell you want. Who you think you are? The president? No, you can't. He can get away with saying some dumb shit like that, but not her.
He's the poster child. He's not done yet.
Right. So the former vice president and senior counsel for CBS posted an apology saying, I posted an indefensible post on Facebook in a discussion thread concerning the tragic Las Vegas shooting, a statement that I sincerely regret. I am deeply sorry for diminishing the significance of every life affected by Stephen Paddock's terrorism last night and for the pain my words have inflicted on the loved ones of the victims. and that her comments do not reflect the beliefs of her former employer. I like how she threw that in there first.
Yeah.
Colleagues, family,
They used to
friends,
give her a
and stuff
severance
like
check
that.
yet.
Yeah.
What she regrets is losing her job.
Yeah, that's what she really regrets. Yeah, like speak the truth now, woman. You say what's really on your mind now.
Yeah.
Like, damn, I can't believe I got fired for speaking my mind.
Let's when you having a serious opinion, keep it old school and keep it at the bar in the corner of the bar with you and your dumbass friends. Keep it. Don't do it on social media. Social media goes to everybody.
What was her position again, Jay? She was
her new one is fired.
Yeah.
She was CBS Network's former vice president and senior counsel.
So she
definitely. So wait, senior counsel. So she knows better. So she
exactly. She knows better.
She fired all the other people.
So yeah.
Shit.
So it was the
my
same
thing is
network that fired. Excuse me, real quick. The same network that fired Jim the Greek for saying, "Well, they made the big black guys with the big black girls. That's why the NFL players are so big." Which was true, which is true, but if he couldn't get away with saying, if you can't get away with saying the truth like that, and that wasn't a tragedy, if he got fired for that, you should know. And she works at the same network, so she has to know the history. So she needs it. It's like you should know better,
right?
Yeah.
I mean,
plus
I keep my stupid. If I want to say something dumb, I'll wait till we're outside and there's no cameras. I'll say a whole bunch of dumb crap.
Take the mic off too. Don't forget to take the mic off.
Yeah.
That's why I got a mic, so I could say stupid shit all day.
Yeah.
Now, the difference is this is an opinion show. This is not a news show.
Yeah.
She's not a commentator for the network. And I do have a problem whenever they start firing people for giving their opinions when they hire you to give your opinion. But her job was
not to give
was
an
not
opinion.
to give her opinion.
Right.
Yeah. So
Quite the opposite.
She's too high up to say something stupid.
Yeah.
Especially on something that huge. I mean,
Yeah, you got to keep it to yourself. Like my problem with social media is people are so quick to text it out without thinking about it because they're in their little feelings.
they're in their bubble.
Yeah,
And they feel like
their bubble goes out to the whole world.
She went from that position to Hood Rat of the Week.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes. Hey, look, when less than a while.
You just made the list.
Look,
she got a new job
You're
already, man. She's on it, you know?
Yeah.
Right?
She lets no time fly by.
It pays nothing.
Yes.
Hood Rat of the Week, it pays nothing.
Nothing.
And it's only until the show ends.
In fact, you can pay us.
Yeah, she should. Well,
we made you, Gold.
Right?
We made you.
Right? Nobody knew who you were until I brought you up.
Well, until you opened your big mouth.
Right.
Anyway.
So thank you, CBS.
It's like a line. Life is like if you're a lineman, if you don't hear about him, he's doing really good.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You only hear about him when he screws up.
Yep.
So it is that time. Jay, Howie, where will you guys be this week?
Well, you know what? We don't have any gigs lined up this week, but we are concentrating solely on Howie's birthday party.
My birthday.
Which is this coming Saturday,
Yes.
October 14th, at the James Street Pub and Speakeasy, 422 Foreland Street. I think that's where it is.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Party. Starts at 10 o'clock. 10 till close. So everybody's invited.
Yes.
You hear me?
It starts at 10.
10 p.m.
All right.
Well, I mean, people are going to start, show
You
up
can
around
show up
9.
early.
You can show up early.
We'll be there.
But I'm just saying that for the people the people that we know.
Brian, you definitely
that
get
will
food.
show up late.
Brian,
So
come and dine because you definitely. But my family gets there the food. I can't guarantee shit after that.
Right. We're going by CPT.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to say what y'all know what CPT means. So. But there will be food, and DJ Love is going to be there providing music all night long.
Okay, and if you come, you get to say something nice about me. Preferably, you're going to roast me a little bit.
Right, because originally we was going to do a roast, but now
we still probably will do some of the roast.
In between songs, come up and say something about Howie.
Then we're going to, at about 1 o'clock, we're going to do 2 or 3 drunk sing-along songs.
Yes, and then we're going to dance it off somehow.
Yes.
I just learned how to do the wobble by 2 white chicks.
There you go.
I know, right? Who would have thought?
So,
you've embarrassed me in front of company yet again.
Tonight at 6 along the riverfront park, you have the Millville Wine Festival.
Yes,
and then later on this evening at 8 at James Street, Gastropub and Speakeasy, you have James Drakes and the Chris Taylor Trio. And I have some
CT3.
exciting news as well. I, for once, have a show. So,
All right.
Yeah.
Is there anything
October-
going on Monday, by the way? So it's my actual birthday. We can maybe
Monday?
do something stupid for my birthday.
Go to the
Haven't come up with
Acoustic Cafe
anything.
right next door.
Okay.
So, October 12th, Real Pittsburgh Stories, Sex, Drugs, and Sauerkraut is the name of the event.
I never.
And,
Sex and drugs. Anyway.
Yeah, so it is going to be on Penn Avenue, and I am very excited. I will be one of the storytellers who will be
Alright.
performing that night, so you can come check me out there.
They're gonna
So-
start calling you comedian like on a
Yeah, somebody
regular
call me
now.
a comedian. I don't.
What day is that again? What day is that again, Brian?
That is Thursday, October the 12th.
Okay.
I'll be back Monday morning, right here, 10 a.m. at riversedgepgh.com. Thank you all for joining in today.
Thank you so much for having us.
Have you guys
Really
again.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Jaye Cooper, Howie D. I'm Brian Crawford. You're listening to Pittsburgh's voice for local music, The River's Edge.
Later, bitches.
Oh!